Okay, everybody, welcome back. This time we're talking about getting ready for the tours.
皆さん、こんにちは. Welcome back to your NPJ pre-departure video info session. We're very glad to have you here, and today we will be talking about getting ready for departure. So this is everything from packing to preparing your funds for the trip, as well as probably something that's on everyone's mind, which is buying the appropriate omiyage for your host family. So without further ado, let's get started.
Sam, I'm not sure what omiyage means, and at this point I'm a little too scared to ask.
Omiyage just means souvenirs or, presents that you would be giving to your host family or, new friends you might make at your host school.
Gifts.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
So first, let's talk about how much money you should bring on the trip. And this will depend a lot on how much you plan to bring back from Japan or any of the expenses you plan to make. Not everything, of course, is included in your NPJ program fees. And you can find this information and a lot more actually in the NPJ terms and conditions, which you can find on the NPJ portal. But these portions of the trip are not covered by the program fees you've already paid. So at the very least, you will need money for your transportation from home to the US airport, lunches, snacks, and drinks, and you'll probably be drinking a lot of water or like Pocari Sweat or something because it's quite hot in Japan in the summer.
I'm more of an Aquarius man myself.
During the homestay portion, if your host family invites you to eat out or do some activities, mini golfing or something like that, you will want to be able to pay for your portion of that. Please be sure you have enough money for any of those activities. You'll be able to talk to your host family about what those may be and plan ahead before the trip usually. But any of those costs during your free time during the homestay, be sure you have money to pay for your share. Same with any personal expenses, internet fees, postage, more souvenirs. If you want to buy all of the Pokemon at the Pokemon Center, that's your prerogative, but make sure you have enough money for that. We generally recommend about $400 to $600 US for the entire trip. And that's just a little bit more than probably what you actually need. Because there may be some unexpected expenses that come up. Every year we always see students who either have a little bit of heat stroke or catch a summer cold or flu, and they need to go to the clinic for some medication or antibiotics or something like that. And so in those cases, you will have to pay upfront. So please be sure you have a little extra flexible cash that you can use while you are in Japan, just in case. And to get Japanese yen, you can exchange US dollars for yen before you leave. That rate will usually be better at your bank too. Some banks may even be able to purchase Japanese yen for you and you can pick it up from them. It will depend on the bank, but at least a week or two beforehand, please notify your bank about your trip, especially if you plan to use your ATM or debit card while you're there. You can do that at like 7-Eleven will have ATMs that accept international bank cards, but make sure that your bank is aware of that so you don't get a stop of funds unexpectedly when you need to get to your cash. So either of these would work. We don't recommend trying to exchange money at the airports because that will probably be the worst rate you can get. Next, we're going to talk about your baggage and packing. So as you can see, there's not much for your baggage allowance. It's only one checked bag and one carry-on item only. And this is because you will have to transfer your own things by yourself within the airport, sometimes going between different terminals, and no one will be able to help you carry those things. So minimize as much as possible. And I'll talk a little bit about how to do that in the next section about packing. Your bag should be under 44 pounds, and that's the domestic limit within Japan. Most of you will be taking a domestic flight within Japan, and so it's important that we meet this limit, or we don't exceed this limit rather. Your bag should also not exceed 62 inches in total length, width, and height. So if this is your luggage here, this is your length, this is your width, and then the height is kind of like the depths of the bag. So 62 inches total is the maximum dimensions that you should aim for your bag. When you're packing for the tour, of course, there's some very obvious things that go without saying, like your passport and cell phone. You'll probably want to buy a safe holding pouch, something that you can keep close to your body that will be with you all the time so you don't lose these very important items. Also for your carry-on, we recommend a backpack, although a duffel bag or a small suitcase would also be okay. The backpack's just very helpful. If you have a big roller bag, then you have your hands free to kind of maneuver that through stations or at the airport. You can also bring a small roller suitcase if you're comfortable rolling the two of them together. And in that carry-on, you should put a few days worth of spare clothes just in case. Sometimes, checked luggage gets delayed, so you want to have a little bit of extra on you just in case. And speaking of clothes, you want to be bringing light clothes for hot and humid weather. And we'll talk in the next section about what the climate is like in Japan, but imagine being in a New York subway in summer and there's no air moving. Or imagine being in Florida at Disneyland, but you are not near any of the spray coolers.
Uniqlo Airism. It's going to be cheaper over there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Airism is something you'll definitely want, especially for a base layer or something. This isn't an ad or anything for Uniqlo. I'm a big fan as well.
Me too.
It's very hot, very humid. So you want to be wearing things that are thin, that dry quickly, and only enough actually for 7 days. And this is because you will be able to do laundry at your host family's home or at a laundromat near the hotel in Kyoto. So don't plan for 14 days worth of clothing. You will have a chance to do laundry, and so that'll save up some space, like we said earlier, in your luggage, especially for, if you want to bring back souvenirs and stuff like that. Minimize how much stuff you're bringing to Japan so you can maximize how much you can bring home to the US. Some practical stuff here as well. So at the Olympic Center, which is the place you will be staying in Tokyo, you will need to bring your own bath towel. You can purchase some there, it's a thin disposable thing, but it's better to bring your own if you can. Again, it could be something thin that you can dispose of or a quick drying towel. The Olympic Center is more of a dormitory, so it comes with a lot of things. It doesn't come with bath towels, unfortunately. You'll also want to make sure you bring a handkerchief, just a small sort of terry cloth style towel that you can use when you're going to a public bathroom in Japan. Most public bathrooms don't have hand dryers or paper towels, so most people will carry their own handkerchiefs instead.
Now, I have the most kawaii Spirited Away handkerchief. Oh. Would that be appropriate, or should I bring a Mononoke Hime one instead?
That's really up to you. Which one are you okay with, if you may lose in Japan, which one would you be less upset about losing?
Whispers of the Heart.
Also, kind of just practical things. Bug spray, sunblock, just make sure they are non-aerosol since those cannot go on the plane. You'll want to bring very comfortable shoes for walking. Don't bring something that's brand new unless you've broken them in for about a month because you will be dealing with a lot of blisters. 2 pairs of shoes at most. You may need to bring an extra pair of indoor shoes, depending on if your host school requests that. And your teacher will be able to tell you if that's necessary. Also, your omiyage or souvenirs for your host family can be put in your checked luggage. So that doesn't have to go in your carry-on with you. And a thank you card. Gratitude is a really important gesture in Japanese culture. So buy a nice thank you card to give them either at the end of the stay or once you get to Kyoto, you can mail them your thank you card. It's just little bits of gratitude that go a long way in Japan. So speaking of omiyage, we have a few tips to help you do your shopping. So we want to aim for things that are cute, compact, sturdy, and relatively inexpensive. You don't need to spend more than maybe $30 to $50 total on all of the gifts that you'll be buying. You also want something that can represent your school or your hometown. Japanese people will be very interested in hearing about where you come from or what things are important to you. So if you have any locally made products, school, city, state, branded merchandise or local sports team merchandise, those are very popular for omiyage, and it's something that tells your host family about who you are, where you come from, and what you're interested in. Snacks are also, in my opinion, the best gift that you can give. However, make sure you avoid chocolate because it will be 99 degrees Fahrenheit and your chocolate will melt. and any meat products, because this is actually illegal to bring into Japan. Finally, a few other things for preparation for the trip. If you want, you may purchase an eSIM or international data plan through your mobile provider, so you have connectivity during the tour. Most places will have some Wi-Fi hotspots, and the hotels and the Olympic Center certainly will. But while you're out and about, if you wanted to, be able to look stuff up online, you'll want to have something you can access on the go. You'll also want to take pictures of your passport, your ID, and your insurance cards, including the one that you receive through NPJ, through CISI. Keep copies of those on your phone just in case. The other thing that we highly recommend, get used to a lot of walking. So most students will do upwards of 20,000 steps per day of the NPJ study tour.
Are you sure it's not 2,000 steps?
Definitely not.
Which is a lot. That's usually about, students have said they've done anything from like 5 to 8 miles in a day. It's a lot of walking. So start now, getting yourself ready to walk around while you're in Japan. You'll be primarily taking public transportation, and we'll talk about that in the next video. And that's just a reality of Japanese life. So there's a lot of walking, a lot of standing on trains. Start building up that endurance so that you're not caught off guard once you get to Japan. So in the next section, we will talk about what it is actually like on tour in Japan. Thank you so much for joining us again today. We look forward to talking to you then. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Gosh, I'm enjoying this. I can't wait for the next one.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it.